Wangi. He's joining me from our City Centre studio, and today he's going to be following up on the latest numbers that IEBC will be releasing later on in the day in regards to the voter registration exercise. Muremi, thank you so much for joining us. So the last time that they released the numbers for week 2, we were basically short. We're talking about 25 to 30% of people coming out to register as voters. Are we expecting anything positive right now, that especially now that Kenyans are last-minute people?
Good morning, Betty. Well, we are expecting that perhaps the number of voters that have been registered in the past 1 week will be higher than has been in the past 2 weeks or so, given that, as you said, Kenyans would wait for the final days to participate in such an exercise, but also because the voter mobilization at the grassroots by the major political players has intensified in the past few days, both from the ruling Jubilee regime as well as the recently formidable opposition outfit of NASA going out there asking Kenyans to register as voters ahead of the close down of that mass voter registration exercise next week. But of course, besides that, Betty, we also expect an update from the IEBC with regard to how far they have been able to go in as far as issues of the sorting out what has been said as double registration using single ID cards for various new voters that have been registered, as well as those that may have been registered during the earlier exercise in 2012. These are key issues that we, of course, expect from the IEBC, as well as their state of preparedness for the August 8th general election, given that we are now only 6 months to the polls, Betty.
All right. Are we seeing IEBC employing different strategies to get Kenyans out there to register as voters? You know, going back to the numbers, not really good, not going with the targets that they had expected. Every week they're expecting to register about 200,000 people, but that's not happening. Every day, actually, 200,000 people. In a week, 1.4 million people. Are we likely to see them employing other ways of getting Kenyans to go out there and register?
Well, the target for the IEBC is to have an overall register of 20 million Kenyans participating in the August 8th general elections. And looking at, we're targeting 1.5 million this week and 1.5 million between now and the close of the exercise next week. But perhaps what we expect to see more from the IEBC is intensified media campaigns. But of course, IEBC has been banking on the political players, participants in the August 8th general election to push these particular numbers. For instance, in Bomet, when NASA was having that first public rally, you would see some IEBC officials there, of course, trying to get some potential voters who've not yet registered, getting to give their details so that they can participate in the August 8th general election. And the call has been for Kenyans to participate in the election, to vote in good leaders, and for others to vote out the bad leaders. Betty.
Okay, finally, are we likely to see them address, you mentioned some of the issues that they maybe will be addressing with the double ID registration. But apart from that, we've seen, both sides of the political divide coming out to, raise issues about this whole process. Are we likely to see the officials of IEBC giving these issues some sort of priority in their release today?
Well, initially, Betty, some of these issues that are being raised by the political players, such as the cleaning of the voters' register, were expected to have kick-started from as early as December last year. And one of the key, point that has put Jubilee and the opposition at loggerheads has been that case that has been before the High Court, where the opposition coalition court has been challenging the award of the audit tender to the KPMG audit firm. But we recently had the Wiper, which is part of the opposition outfit, saying they are in consultations to see if they might in the future pull out that case from court to pave way for the register audit. But remember, that would again have to go through some agreements between perhaps the political players to see if that audit is going to be undertaken by KPMG as had been decided by the IEBC, or if they're going to give it to a new audit firm, and what if that is done by the KPMG audit firm, will political parties be doing a separate audit for them to have the full faith in the credibility of the voters register? These are things that have been a key sticking point in the campaigns and in fact in the ongoing mass voter mobilization campaigns. Besides that, the IEBC is expected to procure what has been said to be the integrated electronic elections management system. Remember, unlike in 2013 where you had a separate BVR kit for biometric voter registration, use the same for the biometric voter identification, and then you go into the voting and the results are transmitted electronically. This time round, we expect that there will be that integrated elections management system which seamlessly connects these three processes to pave way for a seamless process where even the nomination of candidates can happen right in that particular system. Betty.
All right, thank you very much, Murimi Mwangi, for that. Remember that he's going to be covering for us that IEBC press briefing that is expected to give the latest numbers in regards to the voter registration exercise, which ends in about 7 days on Tuesday next week. Remember, we have our Twitter poll. We're asking you, do you think that with 181 days to the next general election, do you think that the IEBC is ready to conduct a free and fair election? Let me just sample a tweet or two here. Cyprian Soibe, you say, we are yet to see self-responsibility from the body without necessarily finger points from concerned politicians. Somebody here, Muiru Mbugwa, very positive. You say, yes, of course, the elections have and will always be free and fair. Interesting. Ibrahim Africa Law, you say, simply, I doubt. All right. Maurice Othwila, you say, Betty, we expect a remarkable changes that convince the jury. Wilfred OPD, it will take time for me to believe in Kenya's electoral process.